Hi friends and welcome. Have you ever caught yourself looking in the mirror and thinking, wow, that blush does not look good? Well, many of us really enjoy wearing blush, but finding the right blush can definitely be a challenge. It's not only important to find the most flattering blush color for the undertone of our skin, but it's also important to find a blush that has a formula, finish, and the amount of pigmentation that's right for us. And there's also one other very crucial factor to consider: how easy the blush is to apply and to blend in so it looks beautifully natural. So today, I hope I can help you find the perfect blush for you, or maybe just a fun new blush, by swatching a boatload of blushes in different colors, formulas, finishes, and levels of pigmentation. So you may want to grab your favorite beverage of choice, since I have quite an amazing number of blushes sitting in front of me to swatch. But before we embark on this blush journey, I do want to welcome those of you who are first-time visitors, and also welcome back those of you who are already part of this family. This channel is all about helping those of us over 50 find the makeup techniques and products that will help us look our radiant best during our 5th decade and beyond. So if this focus matches your interests, I hope you'll join our really wonderful family and subscribe before you leave today. All right, let's talk blush. Since most of us find our skin getting drier as we get older, today we'll be focusing on cream and liquid blushes, since they can definitely be our best friends after 50, and they can give a beautiful, soft, natural-looking flush to mature skin. If you have oily skin, you'll most likely want to stick to powder blushes, and I will mention some really good powder blushes later on in the video. The cream and liquid blushes I'll mention today are at all different price points, and we'll also be including blushes from several clean beauty brands as well. You'll be able to find links to all of the products I'll be talking about and swatching today in the description box below. I'll also indicate in the description box any brands that aren't cruelty-free, since I know this is really important information for some of you. I won't be talking about these blushes in any particular order or ranking them. I simply want to share colors, formulas, and the particular qualities of these blushes so you can determine what blush will work best for you. But at the end of the video, I will mention my top favorite blushes. Since I have a cool skin undertone, the majority of the colors that I'll be swatching today fall into the cool category. However, I do have some wonderful options along the way for those of you who have a neutral or warm skin undertone. And frankly, all of the blushes that I'll be swatching today do come in wonderful colors for those of you with a warm or neutral undertone. And if you're not sure of the undertone of your skin, be sure to check out the link in the description box to a video that will help you determine whether you have a cool, neutral, or warm undertone. Since we all know it's extremely easy to apply too much blush, when trying a new blush, I always recommend putting some on the back of our hand, dipping into it with a brush, and getting the brush evenly covered with the blush, and then tapping it onto the cheek. Let's go ahead and start off with liquid blushes. The first one is one of the newer entries in this category from NARS. It's their Afterglow liquid blush, which comes in 6 colors and costs $32. It has a doe foot applicator and comes in beautiful packaging. The color I have is called Wanderlust, which is described as soft lilac. This blush has a gel texture which shears out beautifully, so it is very easy to blend out. It also has a natural finish and is formulated to be hydrating. It provides light coverage, but it can be layered for a little bit more color payoff. Here's a swatch. But before I start swatching, I'm going to put on this headband. Otherwise, I think I'm going to have multicolored blush hair by the end of this video. And let me give you a good close-up look at that swatch. Now, do keep in mind that all of the swatches that I'll show you today will provide far more color when I swatch them than they would when blended out on our cheeks. They definitely won't look this saturated when we actually apply them. Next is a blush from the M Cosmetics Color Drop blush line. There are 8 colors in this line and the cost is $28. And I'll swatch the shade called Little Lilac. And this is one adorable applicator. And as you can see, this has more of a pink tone. As you can tell from these first two blush swatches, I was recently going through a lilac blush phase. This blush is a serum blush that has a dewy finish, and the skincare ingredients squalane, evening primrose oil, and ceramides. It can be worn alone, or it really mixes well with other colors also. And it adds a lovely, healthy glow to the skin. And it blends out like a dream. And I do like the fact that M Cosmetics has more unusual colors than many other blush lines. So if you're looking for blush colors that are a little different, you might want to check out this M Cosmetics brand. The next liquid blush is from British makeup artist Daniel Sandler and comes in this very small container. This is his watercolor blush line, which has 13 shades and costs $24. As you can see, there's not much liquid in these containers, so this blush is pretty pricey, but I can't help but say, and this is a spoiler alert, that it's also one of my very favorite blushes because it's so natural looking and it's almost foolproof to apply. It's water resistant, so it's a great blush to wear during warm, humid summer months. It's very lightweight and is buildable. I recommend going to Daniel Sandler's website to look at the descriptions of the colors because he indicates whether the blush is matte, satin, or shimmer, as well as whether the undertone of the blush is cool, warm, or neutral, which is a big help in making the right color choice. I unfortunately didn't do this when I bought my first blush, and I just went by the name of the blush and didn't check out the description. So I ended up with a color that doesn't work particularly well on me, but it may look great if you have a neutral or warm undertone since it's a pale peachy pink. It's called Rose Glow, and here's what it looks like. And you have to shake these really well. And as you can see, this is a very different tone from the other two blushes, definitely more of a peachy pink. I also have the shade So Pretty, which is a pink that's perfect for my undertone, as well as the shade Divine, which is a very pretty raspberry pink. Let me go ahead and swatch both of these for you. And this raspberry shade is definitely deeper than the So Pretty pink, which is next to it. Daniel Sandler also has a brush which is designed specifically for use with these blushes. He also makes some beautiful highlighters in this same formulation, and I really love to pair his blush with this highlighter for a gorgeous soft glow. And here's a look at one of his highlighters called Icing. I don't know how well it's showing up because it's so light. Next up is a liquid blush brand that we're all probably most familiar with. It's Selena Gomez's Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush. This is a shade called Encourage. She's recently added some additional colors to the line, so there are now 13 different colors. 9 have a radiant finish and 4 are matte, and the price point is $23. This is probably one of the very best values of any blush because it's so pigmented that you literally only need to apply 1 drop. And because it's so highly pigmented, it's best not to apply it directly from the doe foot applicator to the face. Definitely put just 1 drop on the back of the hand, press and rub the brush into it so the brush is evenly coated with the blush, and then apply it with the brush using gentle tapping motions. This formula is excellent and very long lasting. Let me swatch the 4 colors that I have. Happy is a dewy cool pink, Encourage is a soft neutral radiant pink, Grace is a matte rose mauve, and Truth, which came as part of a limited edition holiday set, doesn't seem to still be available. However, there are 2 similar colors in her line. So first, Encourage. And you can see how saturated that color is. This is Happy. This is Grace. And this is Truth. And the last liquid blush that I have today is Tarte's Blush Tape in the shade Pink. There are 3 other colors in this line, and the cost is $35. This is probably at the opposite extreme from the Rare Beauty liquid blush we just tried because it provides a very soft color, which is not the least bit intense. It's formulated with diamond powder to reflect light and give a really lovely soft focus glow. Another ingredient is porcelain flower, which is a brightener. This blush has a foam tip applicator, which is similar to Charlotte Tilbury's blushes, contours, and highlighters. So it is important to twist the top to the off position after we use it. I'm personally not a real big fan of these applicators since I think they can waste product and they can be a bit messy. But these applicators certainly are having a big moment in the beauty industry right now. If you're looking for a very soft, light blush application, this may be the product for you. Let me show you. And here it is. Now let's go ahead and move on to cream blushes that are not from clean beauty brands. First up is Makeup by Mario's Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil, which is a fairly recent entry into the blush arena, and it comes in 6 shades at a cost of $30. This blush has a very easy to apply radiant formula, which doesn't disturb the makeup underneath. It's designed to provide a light, very sheer veil of color, which is hydrating. Mario is a makeup artist, and overall, his whole line has really excellent quality products, and these blushes are no exception. I have all 6 shades, so let's go ahead and swatch them. And here's what the packaging looks like. This first shade is Perfect Pink. Next is Pinch Me Pink, which is a little bit brighter. Perfect Pink and Pinch Me Pink. This is the lightest shade called Barely Blushing, which is very light. And now we're going to get deeper. Here is Berry Punch. This is Rose Crush. And last but not least, for those of you with neutral or warm skin undertones, here is Just Peachy. I love the feel of these blushes. They're so lightweight and they just melt into the skin beautifully. Next are Makeup by Mario's Blush Sticks, which came out quite a while ago. There are 6 colors and they also have a $30 price tag. These blush sticks do come with a brush at the other end, so you are getting blush as well as a brush. However, I must say that I find it easier not to use this brush. And the cap is pretty difficult to get back on the brush without harming the bristles. But the blushes themselves apply very easily and do provide good pigmentation. I have the shades Earthy Pink, Pale Petal, and Raspberry. So let me swatch them for you. And by the way, here's what the brush looks like. This is Earthy Pink. This is Pale Petal, quite a bit lighter. And you can see how much more vivid Raspberry is. And here is Raspberry. Mario also has a lovely line of powder blushes. His powder blush line offers 5 colors and they're priced at $26. Up next are the Stay Vulnerable Cream Blushes from Rare Beauty. The packaging is really unusual and really quite lovely. But as you can imagine, it is a little challenging to store them. The 5 different colors in this line give a satin finish and provide light coverage. They blend beautifully into the skin and the color can be built up. These blushes are best for dry, normal, or combination skin. I have 4 of the 5 colors that I can swatch for you. The only one missing is Nearly Apricot, which is a beautiful muted coral. The first one is Nearly Mauve, and I want you to see what they look like in the pan. They look very dark, but once you swatch them and apply them, they really are sheer. So here's Nearly Mauve. Here's Nearly Rose, and as you can see, that's a lot brighter. Next is Nearly Berry, and this last one is my favorite. It's called Nearly Neutral. This is Nearly Neutral. The Nearly Neutral shade can work on most skin tones. M Cosmetics makes one of my favorite stick contours, and their stick blushes also apply incredibly easily. And that, to me, is one of the main selling points of this blush. They have a mousse-like texture and a skin-like finish. Of all the stick blushes I'll mention today, this is the one that could be most easily blended out if applied directly to the cheeks from the applicator, although I still don't usually recommend applying blush this way. There's a nice range of 9 colors in this line, and there are some shades which are a little different in tone, which can also be a plus. The shades I have are Baby, which is a pale pink, Venetian Rose, which is described as Vintage Rose, and Chiffon, which is described as cool pink with lavender undertones. Let me go ahead and swatch them for you. As you can see, this is quite an unusual color. This is Baby, the lightest one. Here's Venetian Rose, and here's Chiffon. Patrick Ta is another makeup artist who has an excellent makeup line and has the most unique approach to blush. His blush compacts include both powder and cream blush, and his favorite application method is a bit counterintuitive for most of us, since he suggests applying the powder first and then tapping the cream on over it. I do love the versatility of these palettes as well as the quality, because it's possible to just use the powder or cream, or apply the powder and then the cream, or the cream first and then the powder over the cream. And these blushes are especially long-lasting when layered together in this way. There are 8 different colors, and each palette costs $36. This really is an excellent value when you consider that each palette includes both a powder and a cream blush. I have the limited edition palette that includes 3 colors, but each of these colors plus 5 others can be purchased separately. The colors I have in this palette are She's a Doll, which is a beautiful poppy pink, She's Vibrant, which is a very unusual orange-red, and She's Baked, which is a tanned mauve. And here's what they look like. The cream is at the top and the powders are underneath. This is She's a Doll. This is She's Vibrant, and this is She's Baked. So those were the creams. Let me now show you the powders. This is She's a Doll. This is She's Vibrant. And this is She's Baked. And you can certainly tell how pigmented the powders are. I really love the convenience and versatility of this next 5-pan blush palette. It's from RCMA, which stands for Research Council of Makeup Artists. This particular brand was founded in order to create professional-grade makeup products for film, TV, and stage. The products are made under very stringent small batch standards with exact color standards as well. And this is for consistent performance. They're highly pigmented and they blend in beautifully. There are 2 different palettes. Palette 1 is for light to medium skin tones, and palette 2 is for medium to darker skin tones. Palette 1 has pink, coral, and berry colors, and palette 2 has the colors peach, clay, plum, cinnamon, and sangria. What I really love about this small, convenient palette is that you can custom create your own shades by blending 2 or more of the colors together. This 5-pan palette costs $30, which is a real bargain, especially if you love to have different color choices at your fingertips, or if you like to customize your colors. Here's what it looks like. This is the lightest pink color in this palette. This pink is a little bit deeper. This is the deepest pink. Here's the more coral color. And here's the deepest color, and you can see how pigmented they are. This is palette 1. And before we get to the blushes from clean beauty brands, let's focus on 3 really outstanding cream and gel blushes from the drugstore. The first one has been around for quite some time, and I know many of you are also big fans of this blush. It's Flower Beauty's Blush Balm, which now comes in 8 colors and costs $10. This gel formula feels absolutely silky, and it's beautifully natural looking, and it just glides on so easily. I have the shade Bubbly, which is a cool pink, and Cheeky, which is described as a rosy pink, but frankly, I'd say it's actually a pretty dark pink. And here's what the packaging looks like. This is Bubbly, which is a light, cool pink. Let me give it one more swatch so it shows up better. And you can see that Cheeky is quite a bit darker. I actually like to add a little bit of Cheeky to Bubbly to make a little bit deeper pink. e.l.f.'s putty blushes are also favorites, and with good reason. They're highly pigmented, they're lightweight, and they're buildable. And they transform from a cream to a semi-matte finish. They are great for mature skin because they contain argan oil and vitamin E for hydration. They're 8 colors and they cost only $7. I do wish that there were brief descriptions of the colors of these blushes on the e.l.f. website because it's a little difficult to get a sense of the blush undertones from the photos. However, there is a virtual try-on option available on the website, which I've actually never tried, but if you have, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how well it works. I have the shade Bora Bora, which is a beautiful true pink. And here's Bora Bora. You can see it's more of a medium pink than bubbly. And if you prefer a more luminous blush look, e.l.f. has you covered with their Luminous Buddy Blush. It's velvety and lightweight, and it also melts into the skin. And it also transforms from a cream, but to a luminous powder with subtle shimmer. My shades are Bermuda and Maui. This is Bermuda, which is more of a muted pink. And this is Maui. Now let's go ahead and move on to blushes from clean beauty brands. A newer entry into this category is the brand About Face, which can be found at Ulta. What sets these blushes apart are number one, the number of shade options, there are 10, and number two, the interesting and unusual colors. The price is mid-range at $18. They're extremely lightweight. They're matte washes of color, which really apply more like a balm. They're meant to melt into the skin, which they absolutely do. And they contain both hyaluronic acid and meadowfoam seed oil. I am a bit old-fashioned, and since the shade names are slang terms, which I feel a little bit uncomfortable saying, I'm just going to mention the colors. And this is how they're packaged. This is Pinky Lilac, which actually I think is more lavender than any of the other shades I've tried. This is Bright Berry. This is Deep Red. This is Cool Pink. And the last one I have is Watermelon Pink. Another newer clean beauty brand called Rose Inc. was founded by model Rosie Huntington Whiteley. These blushes have great color payoff and don't highlight skin texture. They're hydrating and create a beautiful, radiant, buildable flush of color. They're extremely easy to apply, and they come in 9 different shades, 6 of which are available in refills. The initial cost for the blush is $32, but refills are $18. I have the shade Camellia, which is a mauve color. And here's what the packaging looks like for Rose Inc. This is the shade Camellia, and I think you can tell how pigmented it is. The clean beauty brand Merit has the most interesting blush applicator on the market for their Flush Balm blushes. And now it's even a prettier applicator that has some gold on it. And because of the applicator shape, it's very tempting to apply the blush directly from the applicator. Even though these blushes look quite dark in the packaging, they're actually a creamy transparent color that lets the skin shine through. These blushes are meant to apply a touch of color without covering up the natural color of our skin. There are 8 colors in the Merit line, and they cost $30. I have 2 shades, Cheeky, which is a cool pink, and Raspberry Beret, which is a deep berry. And actually, I think they've renamed Raspberry Beret. Here is Cheeky, and this is Raspberry Beret. They've recently come out with a new shade called Stockholm, which is a gorgeous light pink. I definitely have that one on my wish list. The last 3 clean beauty brand blushes I want to share with you are from RMS Beauty, Doll 10, and Milk Makeup. RMS Beauty founder Rosemary Swift is one of the pioneers of the clean beauty movement. She was a master makeup artist for over 30 years, and her lip to cheek product is $36 and comes in 7 shades. The RMS blush formula includes buriti oil and shea cocoa butters, and each shade is very concentrated, so a little goes a very long way. It's possible to create a lovely sheer look with these blushes, which can also be used as lip tint, by the way, or to build them up to more intense color. They blend in beautifully, but if you do react to coconut butters, this will not be the blush for you. I'll swatch the 3 colors. I have Demure, which is a beautiful soft pink rose with a hint of mauve, Modest, which is a salmon pink color, and Elusive, which is a matte burnt berry nude with a hint of plum. And here's the RMS packaging. This is Demure. This is my favorite shade. And I think you can see the glow that this product has. This is Modest. And here's Elusive. RMS Beauty has also recently come out with their Redimension powder blush in 6 shades, which uses wet powder technology to create a creamy texture that glides onto the skin. It costs $36, but refills are $28. I love to use this blush over my cream or liquid blushes as an extra blush layer so my blush is more long-lasting, but they can certainly be worn alone. I have the gorgeous color French Rosé. And here's French Rosé. Doll 10 blushes remind me a little of the newest Makeup by Mario Creamy Blush formula, but they're even easier to blend. They come in 9 colors and cost $24. They're a liquid-like cream blush that truly melts into the skin for a very natural-looking wash of soft color. Skincare ingredients include vitamin E, coconut oil, and ginseng extract. Let me swatch the shades Natural Flush, Peach Flush, and Plum Flush for you. This is Natural Flush, which I really love. Here's Peach Flush for those of you with neutral or warm undertone. And here's the Doll 10 Plum Flush. This is Plum Flush. Milk Makeup Stick Blush is also a lip and cheek product and comes in this very tiny applicator. But as you can see, this little applicator is pretty deceptive because you can twist up the product and there is quite a bit of it. And it does go even higher. And I think it does go even higher, but I don't want to take the chance of breaking it. There are some matte shades and some shimmers in this line. This blush does blend out very easily, but it is not highly pigmented. So if you love a stronger blush color or a blush color that's really buildable, this is a product you'll want to pass up on. It comes in 11 shades and it costs $24. I have the color Rally, which is a mauve pink shimmer. And here is Milk Makeup's Rally. I don't think the shimmer is really visible, but it does have a glow to it. Well, I promised I'd share my personal favorite blushes before we concluded today. So here are my top picks. They made the cut due to the colors, the formula, and how easily they apply and blend. I love a lot of the blushes that I've talked about today, but at the top of my blush list are the RMS Cheek to Lip Cream Blushes, Daniel Sandler's Liquid Blush, the Rare Beauty Cream Blush, Patrick Ta's Blush, Makeup by Mario's new cream blushes, Doll 10's blush, the Flower Beauty blush, and e.l.f.'s Luminous Putty Blushes. I hope you found this video helpful in determining some blushes that you might wish to check out. And I'd love to know if any of these blushes are your favorites, or if you have a favorite blush that I've not included today, please let us know what blush is at the top of your list. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next Thursday, I wish you good health and happiness and hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.